Hello, this is Fred Rowe from Sarah Bright Fly Fishing Guide Service. I've been teaching, guiding, writing, and lecturing on fly fishing in the Eastern Sierras since 1982. Let's get to this week's fly fishing report for January 24th to the 30th. Well, I can't believe another month come and gone. Wow, 2025, it's going fast. Well, let's talk about the fly fishing. Well, Upper Owens River, it's doing its thing. It's like fall up there. You can drive wherever you want. The middays are warm. There are days where it's cold up there, particularly if you're on the water first thing in the morning like sunrise. It's freezing. And if the wind's blowing, yeah, there's a wind chill. It's freezing also. But what are we doing? Well, we're primarily looking for the trophy rainbow trout that are in there this time of the year. They're in there. They're getting pounded because guess what? There's no restrictions on access to the river. Anybody can drive out there right now, and anybody can fish both with flies or lures. But you do have to release all your fish if you're fishing in there right now. So what are we doing? Well, for the trophy trout, I'm fishing the deep hole, deep runs, and cut banks where the fish are resting and feeding. Covering a lot of water, covering it super thoroughly, which means 50, 75, 100 casts before I move on to the next spots. You got to cover a lot of water and occasionally try and find those pockets that not everybody else has been casting to, and you'll find a few more fish that'll take your flies. And when I say a few more fish, if you're getting 1 to 3 trophy trout in a session up there, you're doing great. And what are we fishing for? Well, we're using the tiger midge, the olive quilligon, and then the beadhead flashback pheasant tail for the resident fish. And for the big trophy fish, what am I using? Well, guess what? Yep, same old, same old. I'm using the green gold wire prince nymph. I'm using variations of a gold-ribbed hare's ear, and then my always present stoner nymph. And it represents the stoneflies that are in the river, primarily the little yellow stones. The fish see it as big morsel, and they take it. Let's head over to Hot Creek. Middle of the day, there's a hatch going on over there. What's hatching? Well, primarily midges. What size? Size 30. Can I imitate those? No. But what I can do is use a Griffith snap, which represents a cluster, and hope they'll come to the surface and take it. But I can represent the nymphs. I'm using size 22 and 24 tiger midges, zebra midges, and blood midges, and we're fishing those under a dry fly, not an indicator, so I don't spook fish, on about 3 feet between the dry fly and the nymph, and I'm adding a size 4 or maybe a size 1 weight to help it get down on the bottom to where the fish are. Now, I don't get to it often, but I actually fished till sunset the other night. Guess what? I wouldn't call it a huge hatch, but a few fish started rising, and we got a fish on a dry fly. Shocks me that that would happen. It was cold, hadn't seen any activity at all, and that did it. But the nymphs, they're producing fish middle of the day, particularly during the Mitch Hatch, which has been midday 11 to 1. Well, let's talk about the lower Owens River and what's going on down there. Well, right now, what's going on down there is the winter squala stonefly. And what's that? Well, it's a small brown stonefly that hatches late January through February and maybe into early March. So guess what? I tied up a fly to imitate it. It's called the stoner nymph. That's where it originated, to imitate the winter squallas. So we're fishing it in a size 12, and it does great. What else is going on down there? Well, we're seeing a lot of real small stuff. So we're seeing stick caddis, and then we're seeing small mayfly nymphs, and I think the beadhead flashback pheasant tail in a size 18 and the olive quilligon does a great job of imitating both those flies. And then we're using midges. We're seeing lots of those. And so we're using tiger midges, zebra midges, and blood midges, and we're using those in size 20. Let's go over to Bishop Creek Canal. Man, it's low, it's clear, it's fishing tough, but I'm working hard not to spook fish in there because the water is so clear and low. But if you get the right drift, you can catch fish. The rainbows, which were kind of the leftover stalkers at the end of the year, they've kind of disappeared. And mostly what I'm getting now are the wild brown trout. And I'm nymphing in there. I'm using the midge pattern. Again, we're using tiger midges, zebra midges, blood midges, and then we're using the blue wing olive nymph patterns. So those are your size 18 olive quildagon, size 18 beaded flashback pheasant tail, and then I occasionally throw a gold or terrier in there and maybe catch some. Also been playing around with the SOS nymph in a size 18 and 20, both in black and in olive. Well, this has been Fred Rowe from Sierra Bright Dot from the Eastern Sierras. I can be found on Instagram, Facebook, on lpptv.us, and don't forget to join us every Tuesday at Mahogany Smoke Beach for Tuesday Talks with Fred.